You are an unruly crowd, that's all I can say.
Paul, that looks like a bathrobe sitting up there.
It's a very
and there's a bear's outfit back there.
It's very fetching, actually.
In the poop tent there, whatever you gotta call that.
Well, let's go take a look, shall we?
Let's take a look at this.
Well, there it is.
One of that Bears jerseys for sale back there.
I'm quite sure it is. Here we are at Pook.
We are at Pook here in the great mittens. He's going to show us something over here.
The world's most versatile bit of
Watch
clothing.
this guy here.
So after we package up these fantastic socks, 3 for $30, by the way. Now,
Satisfied
this
customer.
right here is the world's most versatile bit of clothing. This is a great Canadian sock hat. Now let me show you what makes it so versatile and makes it so great. If I go like this, I have a Donald Trump comb over, right? But more realistic for the balding is a double Donald Trump comb over. But we're Canadians, so we don't do Donald Trump comb overs. We'll flip it inside out.
Oh my! Very nice. Yeah, very nice.
It's casual, but you know what? It doesn't
Very
end
nice.
here because Michael Jackson's third album, track 1, he said it best. I'm bad. But we can go to the Middle East. Your Turkish vibe. How about the bowler? How about Cat and Hook? How about the late great Ray Charles, sensory deprivation? For all your pain, strains, and migraines. And if you get a couple boozy koozies, you'll know why I have migraines. But my favorite one is after a long day's work. I just finished beating the crap out of Cat and Hook. I'm back at my place in Neverland Ranch. I got to make sure that if my feather's standing longer than 4 hours, I got to call a doctor or refer to the style guide flow chart, which we have laminated to practice in the shower. Or the rain, perfect for right now. You should buy 5.
Let's give this man a hand here. Come on.
Hell yeah.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Just a Couple of Guys with your hosts, Pat Crimmins and yours truly, Ray Rogina. Now, today, Pat is on assignment. You know what that means? He's out there fighting for truth, justice, and the American way. And in his stead, our trusty producer, the man behind the curtain, Paul Stukel, is going to join us today. Welcome, Paul.
Well, thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. I do not have time to fight for truth, justice, and the American way. So,
Wow. Anyway, last year we showed our audience the Christkindlmarket at the River's Edge Park in Aurora. They're back, and we're back to bring you information about this year's edition of the Christkindlmarket. And we're going to have, as a special guest, Leila Schmidt, the senior manager of German American Chamber of Commerce Midwest. She will talk about all things Christkindlmarket and its schedule here coming up in December. Now, later on in the broadcast, we're also going to talk about another Fox Valley Christmas tradition, the Geneva Christmas Walk, taking place this Friday, December 1, in Geneva. All that and more after a word from one of our trusty sponsors. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Tony, your parents know you're over here again, right?
Yep.
Great.
Tony lives next door. See, his parents decided to just use their phone for home internet. So when everyone is on, Tony's over here streaming and drinking all my soda.
My dog.
Switch to fast internet on the Xfinity 10G network today. The future starts now.
We're going to bed, Tony.
Good night. I'll lock up if I leave.
Get real home internet on the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity.
Hello, friends. This is Ray Rogina. Are you looking for the place to be? Voted best live music and entertainment venue by the Daily Herald in 2023? That would be Old Republic in Elgin, an indoor-outdoor hub with classic American eats, beer, and cocktails, plus the best sports bar, burgers, wings, and ribs. Best value? Old Republic. Another good place to be. Well, we're back and very pleased to have as our guest today, Leila Schmidt, who is a senior manager at the German American Chamber of Commerce Midwest and the communications team for the Christkindlmarkets, 3 of them throughout Chicagoland. And first of all, Leila, welcome. I really appreciate you coming on today to talk about your wonderful experience that we're going to provide to our listeners.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk about let's talk about you for a second here, your background and so on. What led you to this position here in the German American Chamber of Commerce, your degrees and how you got to this position?
Yeah, so I actually graduated with a master's at Illinois State University, and my focus, go Redbirds, we already talked about that before the interview. And so yeah, my focus was intercultural communication. So I really wanted to work for a company where I can further German-American relationships. And then I looked into different positions back then in 2018, and I saw the Christkindlmarket one, which back then was a trainee position. And from there on, I've just been growing within this team. So I'm actually working for the subsidiary German American Events, and we put on the Christkindlmarkets. And yeah, I've grown into this role in the marketing and communications field, and our team has grown since I started, and our markets have grown, the vendors, events, everything. So it's been really fun to see this progress since 2018.
Now, there are 3 Christkindlmarkets in Chicagoland, with, of course, the one we're going to visit and talk about most, the one at Rivers Edge Park in Aurora. There's also 2 in Chicago, one in the Loop that's been there for a while and been a very great tradition there, and one in Wrigleyville. Talk to us a bit about your role in producing these markets every year. How does this go about to get to where we're at today and the market is up and running?
Yeah, so a lot of people are actually surprised to hear that this is a full-time, full-year job. However, as soon as the market season ends, which is December, then in January we wrap up, and in February we already start planning the new markets. So we have a big brainstorm meeting with the whole team. We see what went well, what needs to be improved. We look into our visitor surveys. What do our visitors want? We did that for this year as well. That's why we have so many new specials and merchandise. And then, of course, we start looking into the different departments, right? We have an event operations team that works with our contractors and the vendors, permits, all these things. Then we have a sponsorship team that looks into reaching out to different partners that are a great fit for us. Then, of course, the marketing and communications team as well. So we look into campaigns. We have some campaigns running throughout the year. We update our website, social media, all these things. And then our special projects team that makes the events behind the event happen. So, for example, this year we have a wine tasting. We have our fast entry pass, new merchandise like the ceramic beer stein. So yeah, these are all the different things that go into planning the market. And it really starts in February. That's when we already look into the design of the new markets, actually.
All right. Now, for many of our listeners have attended one of the markets in the past years, but let's talk to our new listeners who may have never gone to the Christkindlmarket in any of the 3 sites. Yeah. Tell them what they should expect, A, but more importantly, B, what is the history of the development of the Christkindlmarket going back years and years and years?
So I always like to describe the markets as a little magical holiday village that people get to escape to for a little while. So all 3 markets are admission free. So once you get there, you enter, you stroll around. We have our red and white striped wooden booths set up and a variety of vendors from all around the world. So it's good for holiday shopping, to get handmade artisan products, to try international foods. Of course, the classics from Germany like bratwurst and schnitzel, but also, for example, pierogi from Poland. So a variety.
We sampled some of that last year. Ooh. They were the pierogi and the schnitzel were delicious. It was the cold beer, I might add.
Oh, yeah. And the beer, of course, always great. We always have our beer and our Glühwein imported from Germany as well. So very authentic. And of course, a lot of people have become collectors of the annual souvenir mugs that you can get at the markets. Right. The design of them is different every year. So that's a fun little something to take home. And it dates back to 1995, actually, when the first market was conceptualized that year to further transatlantic trade between the US and Germany. And then in 1996, the first market took place in a much smaller format than now. We had the first market at Pioneer Court with only 13 vendors back then. But fun fact, some of these are still with us to this day at Daily Plaza, which has become our home in 1997.
Now, as far as the vendors are concerned, you said they're from all over. Give us some examples of not only United States vendors, but foreign vendors that come here and are, as you say, quite authentic in the goods that they sell.
Yeah, so I know a big visitor favorite at all locations has become 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐯𝐢 from Canada. I don't know whether you saw them last year. But it was fun.
Hey,
Sock hats.
Paul, tell Leila about 𝐏𝐶 from last year. Oh, they were.
Oh God, Leila, we've got. You know what? I probably should have sent this to you because we've got a great promotional thing for 𝐏𝐶 related to Christkindlmarket. As we were walking around the various vendors, we caught a Canadian gentleman, as I recall, doing a whole shtick about their hats, right? And he could twist them into all kinds of different. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. The guy should have been given a gold medal or whatever one gets in that realm. But so Ray and I, before the interview here, we were chatting and saying we've got to talk about 𝐏𝐶. So it's great that you bring them up. It's wonderful.
Love it.
I
love it. They are always doing a great job.
𝐏𝐶's back again this year?
Of course, at all 3 locations, they are back. And then really from all around the world, we have a vendor from Ecuador. We have vendors from Poland, as I've said, from Turkey, where you can get those cute little like handmade leather purses, for example, that are being customized. So really, of course, a lot of local ones as well, as for example, baked cheese, which has the best raclette sandwiches you've ever had, and local ones from the Chicago area, also from Wisconsin, and a lot of German vendors as well. So yeah, there's really something for everyone, and that's what makes it so authentic and so unique.
Paul will testify that last year we had my wife was there with me, and I did buy her, and it's going to be put into gear here pretty soon, if not today, because it's cold. A beautiful alpaca scarf, and I have to admit, it's just wonderful, and it feels good. Just an example of the fine wares that, and just maybe, my partner Pat will get him to buy an Irish hat this year, only because the selection you had was quite good. Tell the audience if there are any those who have come from year to year, any major changes this year, any new things that are in store for your visitors.
So especially at River Edge Park, we have a lot of changes this year. So as I said, we really listened to our visitors, and we added on a bunch of vendors from all around the world. That was one of the main asks. So now we have more than 50 vendors. So we expanded this whole area now, where the little island is at the end of River Edge Park. That's where we have a bunch of new vendors now. And then the number 2 was more decor. So we really looked into adding on new photo ops, very cute interactive ones. We have a gingerbread sleigh, gingerbread man, gingerbread bench, a reindeer scavenger hunt. That's been booming. People love it. It's for those young at heart. And then we added on special events. So we have our Twinkly Thursdays that we had last year, but this year with new add-ons. So for example, glass blowing demonstrations every Thursday. Super cool, and people can participate. There are workshops, however, they're all sold out already, but you can still come and see them on Thursdays. And for the December 2nd, we actually have our first German and Austrian wine tasting event on the Sky Deck.
Yep, December 2nd would be this Saturday, is that correct?
This Saturday, correct.
All right. Now, talking about the 3 sites, is there any significant differences among the 3 sites that if our listeners want to go to Wrigleyville or to Chicago, might there be anything different?
I mean, all 3 markets are admission free. That's first of all very important to note. But all locations have their different vendors. So some of them are at all 3, but then other vendors are really unique to those specific locations. And then every location has different entertainment as well. So you might find a different alpine brass band in Chicago, and then a different dance group in Aurora. So you can see our event calendars online, different activations by our sponsors. And then, of course, the whole vibe is different, right? So when you go to Wrigleyville at 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐯 Way, it's more modern, as we like to say. So it's for people who like to enjoy different activities. There's a Ferris wheel. People can head into the stadium to enjoy the 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐯 Way activities inside the stadium, which are part of Winterland. At Daily Plaza, people can, for example, book a Stammtisch within the heated timber house that we have there. So that's a German tradition. And then Aurora River Edge Park, as it's our 2nd season, we have all these new specials that I just talked about. So it's a really a different feel and a different experience at all 3 markets in that regard.
So Paul, our producer, is a Cub fan. So you're saying that the Kindle Market actually jumps right into Wrigley Field itself.
We are part of the Winterland at 𝐂𝐫𝐤𝐬. So while the market is admission free, those activities, as they're part of the Winterland activities, they are ticketed. However, people can go to 𝐂𝐫𝐤𝐬.com, get the tickets, and it's a really fun, magical experience inside the stadium as well.
Yeah, Ray, we got to pay for all those new players we're getting. So you understand.
Yeah, I suppose you do.
That payroll is going to be going. That payroll is going to be jumping, baby.
My guess is you're correct. And when Ohtani gets there, the place will be sold out all year long.
That's it.
Listen, Leila, I want you to carefully take us through several things regarding times and dates. But most of all, first of all, where online can they find out everything and anything about the Christkindl Market, the website, if you will?
Yeah. Christkindlmarket.com. That's where we have our different location pages with the hours, with the vendor map, the entertainment calendars, special events that are happening. And then also, I always recommend following us on Instagram and Facebook, because that's where we post our giveaways, all the updates about weather as well. So the handle for Instagram is @the Christkindl Market.
And that's spelled for everybody, just so they put it in correctly on their line. Christ as in Christ, and then Kindle, how do we spell that?
Kindl.
Kindl. Christkindlmarket.com.
Perfect. Yes.
All right. And now, today is we're at the end of November. Today is the 29th. Talk to us about what days you are open at all three sites, because I understand there's a little difference between the three sites, but what days are you open and until what time?
Yeah. So at Daily Plaza and at 𝐂𝐫𝐤𝐬, we are open daily. We close on December 24th at Daily Plaza and December 31st at 𝐂𝐫𝐤𝐬. All of both markets open at 11 a.m. daily. The one at Daily Plaza is open Sundays or Mondays through Thursday. It's open until 8 p.m. And then on the weekends, Friday and Saturday, it's actually open until 9 p.m. And the one at 𝐂𝐫𝐤𝐬 opens a little later during the weekdays. So Mondays through Thursday, it opens at 3 p.m. and goes until 9 p.m. And then Fridays and Saturdays, it's also open until 10 p.m. So it's an hour longer there. And then the market at River Edge Park has different hours and days as well. So it's open Thursdays through Sundays. The times vary versus on these days. So you can head to the website and see it there, but they always open at 11 a.m.
Well, and thank you. And as a reminder to our listeners, and as we said at the beginning, Pat and I are going to be on location at the Kindle Market in Aurora, Thursday, December 7th, 5 o'clock. We'd like you to come out and see us, and perhaps we'll put you on camera and talk to you a bit about your experience at the market. I can't thank you enough for this preview, and both Pat and I and Paul hope to see you on Thursday the 7th and talk to you and greet you in person, and maybe have a cold beer and a schnitzel, perhaps.
Oh, yes. That sounds good.
Paul, what do you think?
It sounds good to me, man. Although I'm going to go with the pierogi. Sorry.
All right. Christkindl Market. And we'll be there on December 7th at 5 o'clock. Leila Schmidt, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. And as somebody who has gone and attended that, I can tell our audience it's a wonderful, wonderful Christmas experience for everyone, the entire family. Thanks so much.
Thanks you so much. Vielen Dank.
We're going to take a small commercial, and I'll be back for some comments. Stay tuned.
Hello, friends. This is Ray Rogina. You face technology challenges every day that threaten to steal business, compromise data, and bring your business down. Without a good partner to help protect from phishing, ransomware, viruses, data breaches, employee turnover, and cybersecurity threats, your business is at risk of losing everything. TechWorks has been the trusted IT partner to Fox Valley businesses for over 20 years, keeping systems secure and providing extraordinary customer service, helping your business grow. Call TechWorks today at 630-482-2227 or visit www.techworks.com. That's TechWorks with a Q. TEQ works, and see how TechWorks IT service can transform and secure your business.
Well, I'm back, and I want to take a moment to remind everybody that the Geneva Christmas Walk is being held this Friday, December 1st, in beautiful downtown Geneva. It all begins at 6 o'clock with Bob's Candy Cane Parade and Graham's Chocolate, first candy cane of the season, being presented with great fanfare, followed by the arrival of none other than Santa Lucia, the Swedish symbol of the season, who will offer Swedish cookies to merry carolers, one and all. Now, the Christmas tree is going to be lit at the courthouse. The young and the young at heart will be able to participate and sing songs as Santa Claus arrives. Santa will open his home for visits from children of all ages, and the All Chocolate Kitchen recreates their record-breaking candy cane, and the Grinch, yes, the Grinch, will make an arrival in Geneva. Reservations to visit Santa at his home, 101 South 3rd Street, are open at genevachamber.com. The cost is $10 for each time slot. You are all going to be serenaded by carolers. Families will stroll Geneva's historic marketplace, nibbling on fresh roasted chestnuts and dodging into brightly lit shops and restaurants along the way. Now, Pat and I will not be able to make the walk this year, but we thought we'd leave you with some scenes from last year's show, including our interview with the remarkable Chef Roby of the All Chocolate Kitchen. More holiday programming in the weeks ahead, including our year-end review. So for our trusty producer, Paul Stukel, thank you, Paul. I would want to say, stay with us. Thanks for listening and watching. So long, everyone.
Merry Christmas from, well, you know who. Get ready for Pat and Ray, just a couple of guys, at the Geneva Christmas Walk. One's naughty, one's nice, but both are gonna talk everything. Ho, ho, ho.
Do it as part of a Just a Couple of Guys podcast.
Just a couple of guys, that's us. Now, I used to work here.
I was going to say, you did, and you prosecuted cases over here.
That's right, bad guys, not alleged. And then, of course, during the Christmas walk, we would come out of the building and we'd go around to the various law firms and enjoy the walk.
Now, let's talk a minute about the walk itself, and then we'll give our audience a little sneak preview of what's in store here.
Sure. So the walk itself is, you could do the house tour, which you can go into various houses if you're allowed. There might be a fee, there might not be. And then you could go throughout the businesses. You'll see the lighting of the Christmas tree, the candy cane celebration as a tradition, and other things as well.
Hey, Pat, we're back, and we're in the middle of a parade here, and I got my wife with me, and I've got my partner, and what do you think about the parade? We're going to march in this thing?
Very exciting.
What's behind us here? A couple of toy soldiers?
A couple of toy soldiers. It's kind of scary. I'm having a little PTSD, but no, it's great. I'm starting to get in the holiday spirit. How about you?
I certainly am. I wasn't until today, but now I'm starting to, this town and this event puts you in the holiday spirit, if nothing else. By the way, these toy soldiers back here, if you recall, at Scarecrow Fest, there was somebody walking around on stilts as well.
That's
and
right.
You said you could do something like that.
Oh, I could probably, yeah. I don't want to scare the kids, so.
Well,
here we go.
By the way, what do you think of all this?
I think this is wonderful.
Good answer.
We wanted to get you on.
I know, with my Grambly voice.
Yes, with your Grambly voice.
This is a wonderful Geneva event. Very homespun, hometown. Everybody's smiling, everybody's happy. Couldn't be better.
By the way, we all just finished a glass of wine, so.
Don't tell them the secret.
We're behaving, but.
Just one, right? We're going to join the parade now, so we'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
present? Do you have some orders you want to deliver?
This is the first candy cane of the season from Grand's Taco.
Thank you very much, McKenna. Aren't they beautiful, folks? Now, I understand the rules are I have to take the candy cane, but give you the pillow back, right? Yeah, I don't know. What the heck, man? It's like, who knows? Let's test what kind of authority I have. Let's take the pillow. Do you want to hand the candy cane out to folks, too? Do you want to break it up and hand it out? Can I break it? Sure. You hold the microphone. There it is, folks. The first broken candy cane of the season. Thank you, McKenna. Thank you, Aaliyah. Enjoy your evening, okay? Okay. Good old Santa Claus, down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. I'll put down through the chimney with good Saint Nick. Oh, dear Santa, do it well. Give her a dolly that laughs and cries, one that will open and shut her eyes.
Here today, and we have the honor today of being at the All Chocolate Kitchen with the chef and his lovely wife, and of course the co-host, Ray Rowena. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit about your store. It's just so everybody's clear, it's packed. Everybody's in line. Everybody's ready to order the sweetness. Chef, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and how we got to this point.
Well, I started my apprenticeship in Paris, in Le Nôtre, and then I was fortunate to travel all around the world. I was actually the private pastry chef for the Shah of Iran for 1 year, and then, you know, the rest is, we all know how we ended up. But, and then I went to London. I opened the windows of the world in New York. And then I came to Chicago, where I was for 25 years the corporate pastry chef for Hyatt Hotels. And I decided I didn't want to have a GM on top of me. I wanted to have my wife as my boss. Yeah. And now my wife, Esther, and I, we are running the beautiful 𝐂𝐶𝐾, and it's a teamwork, for sure. Teamwork.
So the Christmas walk itself is a tradition. How long have you guys been here?
13 years.
13 years. And the Christmas walk, my understanding is, has been going on for 50 years.
Oh, yes.
So you've been a part of it for those 13 years. What's your favorite part?
I think the Christmas tree lighting, and then I think as a community, all the store giving free cookies, free stuff. You see really a common effort to make something very special of that night. And it's really the launching of the holidays here in Geneva. Yes.
And for people who are not from Geneva, but they're from the Fox Valley, you have a website. I was on it earlier, very good website.
Yes.
What's the address for that?
It's allchocolatekitchen.com.
Allchocolatekitchen.com.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they can go there to just see everything you've got going on here.
Correct. Yes. And they can also do shopping online as well.
Now, my notes tell me that you studied, well, you mentioned Paris, and you studied under Chef Le Nôtre.
Yes.
And you become a master chef in pastry and sugar artistry.
Yes.
Talk a bit about that. I always quiver when I hear that.
I know some kids that are very good at the artistry of sugar.
You know, when you do the pastry apprenticeship, you learn all the basic, all the sauces, all the different ganache, the chocolate, the cakes, and then you specialize after. It's like almost doing the medicine. You learn the general medicine, and then you specialize in the heart, kidney.
Right.
I specialize in chocolate and the sugar artistry. And as you can see around the store, we have, of course, the candy cane where we have the world record, but you can see around the store the type of work that can be accomplished with the sugar and the chocolate. And actually we had Food Network. They were very interested to come and film.
But the candy cane that we did here for the Christmas walk, and that was the Guinness record. That was 51 feet long candy cane, and it's.
And we still hold the record.
Did you guys have that laid out in the street?
Yes.
That's right.
And actually, you see the beautiful picture right there on the wall.
Oh.
We all
the kids got to get
and we had an amazing photograph, Scott David, doing the beautiful pictures. Very, very.
How did you develop this passion though for
Well, I started law school.
Pastry and all of it.
I started law school and I found it so boring that after 2 years I quit and I went into
where at law school?
To what?
In France.
In France.
In France, yes.
There you go.
And I just could not handle anymore. And my grandma was a great cook, so was my mom. And I went into the kitchen and
love it.
My father was a doctor. For him, it was a shock to say I'm going to be an apprentice in the kitchen. At that time, 30 years, 40 years ago, you had to follow more or less your father's step or whatever. But it was very supportive. I went to Paris as an apprentice, living under the roof, picking by my window, seeing the Eiffel Tower, making $5 a week. And,
Surrounded by chocolate.
Surrounded by chocolate. Still $5 a week.
Well, I am a lawyer. I understand how those 2 years went.
This was just my passion. This is what I enjoy to do. And I told a lot of my chefs when I used to teach or go around the hotels, if you do and you enjoy what you do, you never work again in your life. And so far, I've been on a long vacation.
Your website does a real good job of showing the store, but could you describe it briefly for people?
Well, that's my wife. You should.
She's
the one behind.
Please.
She's
well,
amazing.
it's a beautiful place. We call it the magic land. Mostly because he does all these beautiful creations, which is enchanting, like the tree that we have in the middle of the store. There is a beautiful lit panel. Everybody thinks it's glass. It's actually 220 pounds of sugar. And it was painted with food colors.
You see, I did the sugar and she painted.
It's teamwork. But the best part is we make everything in-house. Everything is top quality. For the chocolate especially, we only use Grand Cru quality chocolate. For gelato, to bakery, to cakes, we do everything. We do have some savory. We have the best coffee in town. I'm sorry, it's an Italian coffee. I grew up with this Italian coffee. Everybody loves this coffee.
I come here for coffee all the time.
Now, I read you mentioned gelato, cookies, cakes, and so on. But I saw on your website that starting on Fridays, you're going to have French crepes.
Yes, French crepes are coming up.
That's another big.
What makes a crepe French?
I don't know. Okay, what makes a hot dog American? I mean, I would say it's really a French specialty, and it actually comes from Bretagne. And the secret of a crepe is to be very thin and little doily all around. And then you have all the filling, from Grand Marnier, Cointreau, jams, sugar, pastry cream, and you can flambe, you can do all kinds of
I took foods class in high school and I made crepes.
Yes.
And that was my favorite part of the whole class.
So light.
And it's very easy to do.
It's like a street food in Paris.
That's right.
It's like a hot dog stand.
I've never been to Paris. Have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay, it's
never too late. Yes.
It's kind of like a hot dog stand. They have like crepe stand. So you pass it by, you're like, oh, can I have a crepes? And then you just have it to go.
Right along the set.
Right around the sand. It would be like right along the Fox River.
So the candy cane was one of your Guinness records. What were the other two? Or
The world famous chocolate building. This was also filmed with the Food Network, a special.
Food Network.
And I didn't realize the magnitude of winning this when I had people calling me from Shanghai, Berlin, France, Austria, Australia. Oh my God! This one worldwide was really like, oh my God!
Yes.
And the second, one of them too. I don't know
it's
if we
over
have a
there. They're over
picture.
there.
It's over there. It was in Hong Kong. It was a chocolate Christmas tree.
Yes.
And it was 23 feet tall. And we had to do this in 10 days.
crazy.
The pressure.
It's about 2 feet a day.
Well, now, as we get beyond the holiday season, I noticed also in your resume that for the last 19 years, you have done the NFL Commissioner's Super Bowl party.
This was, it's coming soon actually. I would be leaving in January and we go everywhere. California, Tampa,
Well,
anywhere.
let's talk a minute about it. What's the preparation for something like that?
Well,
Time.
the Super Bowl party is basically a week long, okay? So it's not only one party. They have party almost every night. But that party, it's called the Commissioner Party. Super Bowl is on Sunday. Friday night, 5,000 people. All the media, all the players, all the owners, all the teams are invited.
You know, the podcast, we could get a media...
if we got a media pass, can we go to that?
I lost my connection with everything.
That's unconditional.
What are any other Christmas activities going to be coming on the store beyond tonight? Do you have anything planned or just...
Every day is going to be something special. Every day something magical. We have so many different sections between the gelato, the hot chocolate bar, the chocolates, the savory, the dessert. It's
the sugar sculptures.
You can come here every day and have something.
There you go.
A couple more questions. You're on TV a lot, and I saw that you're with Martha Stewart.
Yes.
And I have a personal interest in her. What was she like?
Well, she was really an amazing person, and you could see all her staff, all the crew that worked with her. The highest respect, and she's the goddess in her studio and whatever. And one evening in the morning, I actually had to rehearse the show, which was an hour. I had to rehearse the show with the double of Martha.
Yeah.
Before doing the show. So we rehearsed, I would have to
With
do
her
this,
double.
I would have to do like so. And then when the show started,
then she came.
but it was very stressful because this show is like millions of people seeing that. And it was like, oh boy.
One last question, and this is a personal question, but I bring this up because I know my wife and I and Pat all participated. We saw this also in the resume that you're big into the St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Huge.
And we believe in that. And so talk to our audience a bit about that particular charity and why you're so involved in it.
Well, it started by visiting, we were invited by St. Jude. And we flew to the hospital, and this was a life-changing experience.
For sure.
When you talk hospital, you imagine a very sterile corridor.
Right.
This is like a
Beautiful place.
like a kindergarten, like a full of beautiful murals that the artists do, and you feel like you are not in a hospital. There are doors, swinging door with beautiful drawing and painting, and then you open and it's a surgery room, but you will never see.
It's amazing what they do.
And the family, everything is paid, St. Jude covers everything, and the family can come and stay with the kids, which is very important.
Right.
If you have the kids staying alone in the room, mentally, spiritually, it slows down the process of healing. Having the family around you really gives them a boost to success. And the most amazing, they told me this, is scientists are working very hard to find cure or certain remedy to slow down or to really cure. Once they find the cure, they give it away and share to everybody.
Very good.
And that's amazing.